Inline Fabrication Ultra Mounts, right now on Pirate Firearms and Reloading. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about some really cool gear from the good people at Inline Fabrications. Now, full disclosure, I have bought all of this gear with my own money, haven't received any discount or a cent from the team at Inline Fabrication. So this is my honest review. If you go back through the playlist, I've done videos on Inline Fabrication before, mainly this side bin mount here, and a case ejection system for both this Lee classic cast with breech lock and for my 4-hole turret press, classic turret press I believe it is from Lee. They do the case ejection systems for multiple different presses. It's really nice stuff. The other thing I have from Inline Fabrication is this fantastic ergo handle. So it's got a very unique shape to the bar, which is way more ergonomic, and I'll see if I can get this in the frame. Excuse the shaky footage. So you sort of pull straight back here, and then you end up going down and coming down like that. So it works really well. Very, very comfortable reloading, you know, a couple of hundred rounds at a time. Absolutely no issues. This is the Ultra Mount quick change setup, okay? So what you've got here, this is the 7-inch version. They do make a 9-inch version and a 4-inch version as well as this little flush plate guy down here. I will talk you through that one in a second. So the bin mount system here is additional. You do not have to have this bin mount system. So we'll just pop those bins off. If you do choose to use the bin mount system along with the auto ejection, you do get a nice 4 slots here to put your shell holders, which is kind of cool. But the main gist of this is a quick change press mounting system. So underneath, I'll show you on this side. No, underneath you have these plastic wing nuts. And to release the press, you're going to undo these guys. And there is one on the left and one on the right. The one on the left is a little hard to see just because I have the bin mount, but it is definitely up under here. Very hard, one-handed. And then what you can do from here is simply just lift the press up and slide it on out. There's quite a bit of storage space here under the press as well, so I've chucked a couple of extra bins under there just to keep them out of the way. And then you simply take another press, put it in like that, give it a bit of a wiggle, and you'll find it secures itself in place. Now it's already very secure in there. There's no wobble. There's a little bit of up and down play, and that's where these little wing nuts come in. So you simply go and spin these guys in, and normally you'd put 2 in, of course. Your press is locked in place. So it's a matter of about a minute to change presses, which is a fantastic concept. But this concept does not end at reloading presses. But we'll get to that in a second. I want to talk you through the press height. So when they offer the 3 different sizes, the 4-inch is designed to be mounted further forward on your bench top, and your linkage will overhang your cupboards. Obviously, because I've got drawers down here, I didn't want to have this all the way down, and I like to stand at my reloading press. If I'm getting a little bit tired or whatever, I do have a bar stool to come and sit here at the same height. But the reason I've mounted this setup at this particular height is, for me, I can keep my shoulder in a neutral position and have my forearm straight out at 90 degrees and be at the perfect height to be working with extracting, cases or working with the press as such. I'm not putting any extra stress on my body, so it's in the perfect position for me. Now, the cool thing about the taller version, the 9-inch Ultra mount, is that pretty much every single press linkage will clear your workbench. So you can have that press mounted way further, way deeper into your workbench if you want to, rather than the sort of traditional overhanging approach. But I've chosen to just have it clear, mainly because on this turret press, the spent primers are dropped out via this little spigot here, and it comes with a tube. And I wanted sufficient room so the tube would clear and is still usable. This, like the other one, has the shell holder in the bin bracket. I have just made a little tray here to put projectiles in when I'm loading. So essentially what it does too is, because of this leg system, it spreads the load out over your workbench, meaning it is far more stable than traditional press mounting systems. Rather than using this tiny 3-bolt footprint that you would use to mount this press directly to the workbench, it's spreading the load out over a substantially larger area. This is one of my favorite Ultra mounts. This is actually the flush mount kit. And I like the way that I can have it down level when I'm not putting a press here or other such equipment. It's just part of my workbench. It's completely flat. And I have made myself a little dust cover for the recess for the tongue of the mount. And they do offer their own dust cover. The only thing I didn't like about it is it was proud and it had like a lip that stopped it falling through. So this I had to make and fit based on the depth that I had routed out the workbench. Now, in saying that, this is not as easy to mount as the standard Ultra mount with the riser on it. You obviously need a router and a bit of DIY skill in order to get this to work, but the end result is truly fantastic. Now, normally they recommend you mount this particular plate sticking out over the bench, so obviously you can get to your wing nuts underneath and secure your press. Now, I've done this way purely because I didn't want something extending out from the edge of my workbench to catch on when I'm standing in front of it. So this is not the recommended mounting style. I've kind of cheated the system. I have drilled a hole up underneath here, and I have made myself some extended wing nuts to insert up under there and screw down a press. Now, bearing in mind, this is actually not going to really be a press mount. This is going to be an accessory mount. And what I've got here is this is for O-lights. It's called an O-link, and it basically magnetizes to the charging side of any of the magnetic charging O-lights and gives you like a little round carabiner keyring type device. What I've done is I've put a nut in the back of my little dust cover, and it allows me to just simply use that magnet to pull it on out. And through magnetism, I can then chuck it over on my Ultra mount out of the way. And now I'm free to use this flush mounted Ultra mount. And so that allows me to put things here in on the end of the workbench. So this is obviously the Lee Auto Bench Prime. Obviously you'd have your primer hopper on top of here, and allows me to put it down nice and low to the workbench where I'd want it, and still have my press off to the side ready to go. Now, the cool thing about the Ultra mount adapter plates is most reloading equipment they have a pre-made plate for. And if it's a pre-made plate, like this particular one is, it comes with all the hardware you need. You just tell Inline Fabrication what you're mounting to the plate, and they send you the appropriate plate. Now, if they don't have a plate for that particular piece of equipment, say you wanted to just mount a plain old bench vise on here, they do actually have a plate with a setup on it that will take quite a few of your standard commonly available vices. But say you've got something completely oddball, not a problem. You can purchase a blank plate. The idea behind the blank plate obviously is you drill and tap for whatever footprint you are going to mount onto it, and you mount onto it and you can basically put anything there. Sky's the limit. They also make a slightly wider plate as well if you want to mount something extra large on here. So really the sky's the limit. They will also do custom work for you. If you send them the footprint, they have a whole form and a way to do it. They will set the plate up for you. There's obviously a small additional charge to that, but if you're not particularly handy and you just want it done for you, you want a turnkey solution, they will absolutely do that for you. Now, I got one final thing from the good folks at Inline Fabrication, and that's a storage bracket. So supplied with hardware like most of the other pieces, it allows you to store your accessories when they're not being used. So, god damn it, twice. So I haven't put these in yet. I've got to decide where I'm going to put them. I'm actually contemplating putting them away in a cupboard over on the other side of my workshop. And then when I'm not using one of my presses, simply slot the tongue into the bracket, close the cupboard door. It's all stored away nice and safely. It's not laying down on anything, crushing anything, doing any damage. And when I'm ready for it, it's as simple as tilting it at an angle, sliding it out, and coming and putting it over on one of my Ultra mounts. I think you really need to take a look at the attention to detail, the fact that they punch all the numbers in the quick change plates, so you know exactly which plate you've grabbed when you get your box of nice goodies from Inline Fabrication. You know exactly what plates go to what pieces of equipment. I'm sure that also helps them in their warehousing process and their manufacturing process. But it's such high quality equipment. Beautiful paint job on it. All the edges nicely radiused. No way to cut yourself on them. Just fantastic equipment. So I have to say, well done to Inline Fabrication. You guys have really knocked this one out of the park, and I'm a very, very happy reloader. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. It's totally free and it helps the channel. At this stage, only about 3% of you watching are subscribed. Please subscribe, support the content you're enjoying, and it helps me out immensely. Until next time, happy shooting.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Catch you next time.